Yo people, what's going on? My name is uLogic and welcome back to yet another video. This is the official Urban Logic plant room greenhouse thingamajig tour. This is the first episode of a new series that I'm starting here on the channel called NYC Plant Journey. The whole point of why I'm making this journey is to kind of like document some of the experiences that I myself, a New Yorker, face as a houseplant gardener. So the first thing I want to do is introduce to you guys my entire plant collection, show you guys exactly what is happening, how I'm handling everything, give you guys a room tour really. So as we go down the row of naming and IDing every single houseplant, what I'm gonna do is give like a small little just a tidbit of information on each individual plant. Alright guys, so here is just a quick view of my plant collection. We have the peace lily, the maranta, the ivy, the pothos, the other peace lily. This is the merino moss ball. We have 2 snake plants. In the back here, I don't want to forget, we have a cactus and then some succulent propagation projects that we have going on, as well as another succulent here. We have the variegated rubber plant, the Ficus benjamina, or the weeping fig as people like to call it. Another snake plant, the cylindrica. We have my Monstera deliciosa, which is obviously going through a bit of a project here. I'll explain to you guys when we get there. I do want to say I still haven't like 100% decided on the name, but from what I've gathered from the last video, this is the Syndaptus pitkiss. If you're interested to see like why I'm so confused on the name and why I haven't like officially named it yet, I will link a video down in the description. But for now, we're gonna be calling it the Syndaptus pitkiss because that is the name I'm most confident in. Here's my propagated Sansevieria cylindrica. We have a beautiful luscious ZZ plant, 2 spider plants. We have 2 pothos propagation projects that I've been working on. This is the one that I made a video on. This one I actually haven't made a video on because it's been a separate experiment going on. Here we have the lucky bamboo, which we'll talk about later, but actually isn't bamboo in case you're wondering what it is. And then this is my Monstera adenoceae, or what's left of it. Unfortunately, I got hit like with a bad case of pests, and like you guys can see like the little holes all over it. I've had like a bad pest problem. From what I can tell, like it's gone. I managed to get rid of it, but like yeah, I've had to like kind of put it in emergency mode and put it in the ER. So yes guys, that is pretty much it for like an overview of everything I'm dealing with. Let's go ahead and move into the specifics of each and every plant. Alright, starting up here we have the peace lily, and I'm also gonna point to this giant peace lily that I have that I've been meaning to show you guys. I haven't like found the time to make a video about, but like here's the formal introduction, I guess. This is my giant peace lily, my first plant of this size. It's actually in a 10-inch pot. It's been really funky messing with this. My first time dealing with a giant plant. I try not to be too intimidated by it. I try to like just treat it as, you know, what it is, a plant at the end of the day. But there are some difficulties that I run into with this plant. For starters, I got this off the clearance section, and I know I wasn't supposed to expect much off of a clearance rack plant coming from Lowe's, but it did come with like some damages to the leaves when I got it. Some other leaves were like really damaged to the point where like I either like had to cut them off, or like I decided not to cut them off, but they ended up dying off. But as you guys can see, we are getting some nice flowers. This actually just finished unfurling probably like 2 days ago, so I'm very happy about that. And then we have another flower emerging all the way down. Wow, I actually haven't even noticed it got this far. This was actually my original peace lily. I was having a lot of difficulties with this, and I discovered that the main issue is because I had it in way too big of a pot. This guy that you're seeing here is the pothos. It was actually featured in a video where I transplanted propagated pothos from water to soil. This is the same pot, so in case you guys are wondering how it's doing, my mother actually brought it back, and here's a quick progress report. You got the shoot coming out here, looking really good. I do have to say though, stay tuned because there is a video coming very soon. I know a lot of you guys wanted to see the actual process of transplanting from the water to the soil. I know a lot of you guys were upset that I didn't show that in that video, so I will be dropping a video very soon regarding that specific process. This little fella here, I have to change his water every single week to make sure that he's nice and healthy. Obviously very tiny, but I haven't noticed like a lot of algae forming, and a big reason for that is that I make sure to leave it out of like direct sun. So that's kind of why I have it here furthest from the sun, furthest from the window. All right, moving on. We're gonna actually talk about the maranta really quick, the prayer plant. A lot of you guys know and love this plant. Relatively easy to take care of. You guys can see I have it in a hanging solution, which I'm very proud of. As soon as we set the shelf up, I decided to like come up with some hanging solutions for some of my plants. So you guys see I have the Maranta and the Ivy both in some hanging solutions. We obviously have a shoot coming out here, so I'm very happy about that. And we have one emerging in the back over here. Really quick, as for care, it takes low to medium light. If you're gonna give it bright light, make sure that you keep it filtered, because bright direct light is definitely gonna scorch the leaves. You wanna make sure that it's filtered, but I would personally say low to medium indirect light is definitely the way to go. I had a shoot that was emerging and it kept getting taller and taller and taller. And at some point I was like, what the heck is happening with this guy? But it seems to finally be unfurling a little bit, so I'm really excited to see that. I'm sure within the next week it'll be completely out. And then we also have some other leaves that finally ended up unfurling, like this guy here, starting to darken a little bit. Then as for the Ivy, you guys have seen my video, my like short little rant about how people really misunderstand this plant. Yes, I have my Ivy in a hanging solution as well. You guys can see that it's definitely grown a little bit more. What I'm hoping to do is to get some more vertical growth going on now that I have it in a hanging solution. I'm gonna talk about this light a little bit later. Very important to the entire puzzle. Okay, that takes us to the bottom here. We have my 2 snake plants. Well, I actually have basically 4, but we have 2 of my snake plants. We have the Sansevieria cylindrica with like 3 or 4 shoots coming out in the bottom from what you guys can see. And then we have the more traditional snake plant that like more people are familiar with. Sorry, I'm not even gonna pretend I know how to pronounce that, so I'm just gonna put it up on the screen for you guys to see that. These 2, I love them because I really don't have to water them that often, since they are snake plants, some of the hardiest plants you guys know out there. Everyone knows this about snake plants. Moving on, we have the rubber plant here, the variegated red ruby rubber plant that I showed you guys in the previous video. And we actually have a leaf unfurling here. Really, really pretty stuff. You guys can see some of that sexy variegation going on. Rubber plant ended up unfurling 2 different leaves. So we got this guy here and then this guy here. Related to the rubber plant, we have the Ficus benjamina, or the weeping fig. Very, very sassy, very delicate plant. You don't want to be changing its conditions too much because the leaves will drop. I haven't had any leaves dropping, and I've actually been experiencing a lot of like upcoming shoots that I'm excited about. But everywhere where you see something that looks like this, essentially, that's where there is a new shoot emerging. And you guys can see that we have a lot of those coming out. All right, moving on to the big boy, my favorite plant out of the bunch. Just for personal reasons. I don't think it's the prettiest, but it's just my favorite. This is the ZZ plant, one of the easiest, most tolerant plants. Definitely recommended for beginners, but everybody, beginners and experts alike, love the ZZ plant. It's such a lush, beautiful plant, super easy to take care of. Similar to the snake plant, you can forget to water it. You can put it in low light. You can throw all you got on it. All right, we gotta talk about it, man. This is the Monstera deliciosa. This is another one that I've had to kind of like put in the ER. What I noticed is like from one day to another, the leaf kind of like closed up. Like this leaf closed up. This leaf, like these 2 never really came back. I'm not sure. They're not dead. Obviously not doing too good. The leaf should be a little bit more upright like that. So what I ended up doing is propagating this in water. And one of the good things I can say is that I have been noticing a lot of roots, as well as like this guy that's coming out here. You guys can see him. I do think it can come back again. One of my favorite aspects of the Monstera deliciosa, it is a bad boy, man. This guy would definitely come back as many times as he needs to before he calls it quits. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Are seeing a lot of like recovery in a few forms, right? So first we see it like above the surface. The plant is actually like standing upright on its own. I'm happy to report that it looks like my little emergency transplant was very successful because we see a bunch of roots coming out. We're dealing with like some really strong roots coming from it on that side as well as on this side. I was worried about this plant, but I am back to being confident about it. I'm confident in its recovery. All right, here we have the Sansevieria cylindrica and its accidental propagated cousin here. All right, we're gonna go through the rest of these super quick. Synaptis pictus, you guys see 2 leaves unfurling here. Really happy about that, really excited to see where they go. The leaves actually ended up unfurling about 2 weeks later. They look really pretty, so I'm very happy to report that. And the 2 spider plants, these guys, I know they're like scraggly and weak and whatnot. I actually got them from here and they never like really like adjusted well to the transplant, so I'm considering actually removing them or just observing them. But this is the guy that was originally here, the spider plant that was originally here. Then with the spider plant, I reported to you guys that like I had put 2 babies inside of the soil, and I was a bit worried because they were looking a little scraggly. They seem to have gotten their bearings, and you can see like this one here and then this guy here. They're actually standing upright on their own. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few weeks we start to see some shoots come from this guy here. I'm gonna run through these really quickly. The succulents in the back, I showed you guys a video on these guys earlier. They've managed to get taller. They haven't really like grown super much. I have another propagation project that I just started recently. And then this is that cactus that I actually ended up getting from that plant swap. Definitely hasn't grown much, right? If at all. I don't know if I forgot to mention this guy in the beginning of the video, but this is my Dracaena. I also got it from the plant swap. The leaves came super damaged, but I managed to like recover, and since then it has been doing good. No significant growth. We have had some leaves come out, but nothing crazy. Hasn't made a total like turn back now, but it is alive, it is doing good, and like that's the main thing that matters. Obviously I have it in the higher light situation. And what I was trying to say is that a lot of people call this a lucky bamboo. Many people don't know that this is actually a Dracaena as well. Yeah, this is not bamboo. It's just a common name, I guess. Lucky bamboo is not bamboo. It's actually a Dracaena. And yes, once again, here are my propagated pothos projects, which I will be doing an update in the near future. Now, oh, what's up? In case you guys want to see like some more of the room, here is the mirror where I obviously get dressed. Sometimes I have to kind of like scoot this guy over to get like a good view of myself. As soon as I'm done, I just pull it right back. A lot of things here, decorations obviously, some notes from friends, some photos with friends, $2 bill. And then this is my Tribe Called Quest autographed poster. I got this from the Vans event. There was a pop-up shop that they did in the Vans store here in New York City. House of Vans, Brooklyn. Separate note, I have 2 autographed CDs. Kendrick Lamar's Damn. I have J. Cole's KOD autographed as well. Eminem's Some Shady EP in the back. And then obviously Tyler the Creator's Flower Boy, which is one of my favorite albums. Yes. I have to show you guys my latest creative projection. What? I gotta show you guys my latest creative project. This is my quote-unquote mural, created mostly of photos that I took while I was in Puerto Rico, my trip that I did probably like a few months back. But I do have a few pictures that are not from there. This photo I took on the Williamsburg Bridge. This of course is Booby, you know, I know you guys love her a lot. There's some other stuff here and there, some cool memories that I made that I really wanted to turn into a collage to kind of commemorate everything. And then this is the last thing I'm gonna go into with respect to my room. You may think it has nothing to do with the plants, but it actually has a lot to do with them. This is my fish tank. And the reason I mentioned this fish tank is because this fish tank is a huge source of moisture in the air for my entire room, namely in the form of evaporation. It is what keeps the room never too dry, and that's ultimately the reason why a lot of my plants aren't fried, even though some of them are directly facing the sun. The final thing I want to speak to you guys was about this lighting, as I promised. So yes, you guys see that we have 2 artificial lights coming here. This light is actually just a daylight bulb, and the reason I have this here is because while it is really sunny now, in the winter months, for some reason the sun just doesn't hit this room at all and becomes like super dark most of the time. So as a solution, I ended up investing in some artificial lights to ensure that these plants are at least getting some extra sunlight or some extra help, that extra push in the colder months when the sun or the light isn't as present as it normally is or it normally should be. But yeah guys, that is it for my plant tour. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it kind of turned into like more of a room tour than anything, but I gotta show you guys the whole thing I'm working with. Feel me? Leave a thumbs up down below if you enjoyed the video. You should enjoy the video. I put a lot of work into it, man. Also, comment down below, are there any projects you want to see me work on? Are there any questions you have for me about any of these plants that I just covered, or about my room setup? Leave them down in the comment section below. Also, if you're not subscribed already, what are you doing, man? Go ahead and subscribe right now so you can stay updated on wonderful projects like this. Also get a cool perspective on a houseplant gardener from New York City, which I feel like isn't really like spoken about much, but it can happen. It's happening here. So make sure you subscribe. Thank you guys for watching the video. Appreciate it, and I love you guys. Till next time, peace.
Do you wanna get like me? Spend some days on me. 1,000, 3,000.